Hello, hello, and welcome to the Aware Show. It is my happy place to be here with you all, where I get to communicate information that inspires positive growth and change. And you can also find our show, The Aware Show, on your podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. You can listen on demand. And if you listen to something that you love, share it with a friend, because that's why we do what we do. And I said earlier, I'm in my happy place because my author, my wonderful, incredible guest today, is the author of Happy Money. Happy Money was a beautiful, a life-changing book written by Ken Honda. And it really showed us how we can create a life of abundance and change our relationship really with money as to a place of happiness. Ken has a new book out, and I love this book. It's called True Wealth, and it's a story really, and I love stories, about a young man who received 20 letters from his grandfather, and each letter had a a series of no, it wasn't 20 letters, it was 8 letters, right? Okay, but it had
It
really
was 9 letters, and the boy is 20 years old. So
he was
sorry about the
no, that's
confusion
okay.
of the numbers.
The bottom line is that the letters are chapters in this book, and they're teaching such beautiful lessons, and I loved it. I wrote a ton of notes when I read it, and all of it rang true to me, which thus the title, True Wealth. And I'm so glad that you're back on. Thank you so much for
Thank you
being
so much for inviting me. I've known you more like a friend, but whenever I mention your name, they say like, "Wow, Lisa Garr, you know her personally?" Yes, yes, I've been to her house. We've had dinners, lunches together. So like I didn't know you're so well known. So
Oh,
I'm so
you're so
proud of
sweet.
you, and thank
I
you for
it is you
great
that I should
work.
say this about, because every time I'm with you, you have such a beautiful perspective on everything, and I love just your calm way of looking at things and managing things, and you have this new, I mean, you've written so many books in Japan, and this one is specifically, is this for our wonderful North American audience?
Yes, it came out from Hay House, so now it's out in UK, Australia, India, and that means probably like they're mostly most of Europe and many Arabic countries, and so people in the world are reading it. So it's been my dream to publish this book in Japan in English. So
In
I'm so
English.
happy it happened.
Well, I love it because it's lessons. It's something that we can inherit so much from our elders and from tradition, from wisdom.
Hmm.
And this book brings in, through the story of this young man who received a series of letters containing 80 years of wisdom from his grandfather. And it's called Nine Lessons. Well, True Wealth is the name of the book. Nine Lessons from a Grandfather on Happiness and Abundance. Happiness and abundance. So tell us a little bit about how or why you wrote the book. And then we'll get into some of the teachings.
Thank you. So I love stories. So I'm probably known as a happy money, a guy in English speaking market, but I'm a novelist. I've written more than 70 or 80 books, and then some of them are novels and mostly on stories that will transform people's lives. So this one is a novel that I wanted to write for many years. I have had incredible mentors, and their teachings are so beautiful and so zen. So I wanted to put those teachings together in one book. And then by just putting us in a story format, people can relate to the teachings more. So that's how I just came up with this idea that this very wealthy grandfather leaves no money. He donated all the money before he passing, and then he left 9 letters. And this boy receives a package from his grandfather's lawyer one day. And then when he opened up the package, there are 9 letters, and each of them has a title. The first letter is synchronicity. intuition, decision, action. So he is instructed to open the letter when he thinks it's necessary, when he thinks it's a time to open the next letter. So he opens this one, and then boom, something happens, and he gets guided by synchronicity. So I wrote this book in inspiration after I read the book Celestine Prophecy. So, you
Ah,
know,
yes,
um,
of course. That makes a lot of sense. It made the letter of the book is like a journey. And
yes.
what I experienced when I was going through it was the same thing as I looked at one of the first chapters having to do with paying attention to the synchronicities
Mm-hmm.
and so I started looking around all of the synchronicities that had just happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't really looked at that. I wasn't paying attention to that.
Mm-hmm.
And I slowly saw, oh, wow, that's true. When you look at things, as you say in the book, they are direct messages from God.
Yes.
Yeah. And you really can look at a synchronicity not as a happen chance experience, but they are actually intentional messages from God. And that is a beautiful way of looking at it.
Yes, and it happens so many times. And I think with you, uh, talking about synchronicities, I think at ATL, one of the authors convention in California, I just had a chat with you, and then I was talking about me going to Oregon, and you said, a friend of mine is helping me out in Oregon. And I said, wow, can you introduce him? And then he's been working and supporting for me ever since. So,
Yes.
you happen to be there for me. So you are guiding one of the guiding angels for me. Uh,
Oh, I love
guardian,
that. I mean, that
guardian
is a
angel.
huge honor that you just said that. And I thank you for that because you are a true icon. And to have at least even participated an inch of your life makes me deeply, deeply grateful and honored. Thank you for
Thank
saying
you.
that.
And you don't know what happened, since then. And then one time, you hosted me at your house. You opened up your house and just threw a very, very beautiful party for us
Yes.
when we are launching Happy Money. So
Hmm.
I want to do the same when you come over. We can host 60 people in a retreat center, and we can do a workshop, or like I have a special ticket, like a
Oh,
Charlie and Chocolate Factory. You have a special ticket, so
yes.
invitation to Japan, so you can
Oh
do
my God,
so
that's
many fun things.
amazing.
So and the ticket includes a trip to Kyoto.
Oh.
So
My God, this is amazing. Well, I have to say, because Ken is so incredibly generous, as you just experienced here, is that he's also so generous with this information. And I just want to share a few things that I learned from the book. And again, it's called True Wealth. And there was one chapter, I think it was called The Cost of Fear.
yes.
And it it is so well written. You said the cost of fear equals the best possible future you could ever have.
Mm-hmm.
That is such a true statement because think about your fear and how much it has cost you. This incredible life of probably the best possible life you could ever even possibly imagine, but you gave it up because you were afraid of success, afraid of the future, afraid of uncertainty, afraid of risk taking, afraid of like you name it. How much have you heard other people's stories that have kind of been a testament of people being afraid and not having that amazing life?
Yeah, it's so sad that people choose financial security over great life. So that means that whatever we want to do, there is a price tag attached to it. Like
Mm.
I've been going around the world probably 3 times. And then I casually mentioned, I went back from the World War trip, at the cleaners and the dentist. And then the receptionist, or even the dentist himself says, wow, I want to do that. Of course, he has money and he could create time because he's a self-employed dentist, but not many people do that. out of busyness, and there are some things they already know they want to do, but they're haunted by a ghost called someday. Someday
Mm.
never comes because unless you put it down on a calendar, someday is far away than a year or two, and then never comes. So I'm just asking you a question, like, what do you want to do if whatever you're postponing it, and mostly some fun stuff. We postpone our fun
Yes.
later. So when we are eating a strawberry cake, we always put a strawberry on the side and try to eat it at the end. And then your sister comes and grab it, right? So you have to be careful. If you love strawberry, eat it now.
That's a great way of saying it. I would love people who are just hearing you for the first time. And I've had Ken on my show before, so you can listen to other interviews, but tell us a little of your money story and how you got to be this incredible, famous author in Japan with 110 books about happiness and specifically money. Why did you write on this topic originally?
So to make a short story, I was no, to tell the short story.
Uh-huh, uh-huh, yes.
English is always hard, to tell you
You're
the
doing great.
short story. I started as my father's a successful accountant, so I started as my how do you say, money coach career since I was 6. I started coaching my father's client uh, when they visited us on weekends. So I was a tea boy. I was supposed to bring Japanese tea, matcha tea, to my father's client, and then I asked something like, "Do you have enough cash in your company?" I was so, and then the owner of the business like, "Oh my God, can you
Ah.
ask your father to come quickly?" So I was very good at embarrassing adults by asking money questions. So I have a long, 50 years of a career of just talking about money.
Asking the tough questions. That's great. Well, so yes, and then you went on to have an experience where many different experiences in your family where money
Right.
was the root of so many problems. I'm sure you saw a lot of ways that
Mhm.
money corrupted families.
Yeah, so I've seen the wealthy family and the not so wealthy family, and I have seen beautiful family and have seen, sad separated families. And I realized that money can lift you up and money can, put you down. And then I came to realize that there's two kinds of money, happy money. Oh,
I
and
love it. Happiness.
yeah, happiness, like happy money, unhappy money. And happy money makes you smile when you receive it and when you spend it. And unhappy money gives you joy when you spend it. Like a couple of weeks ago, I was thinking of donating some money to, some charity. And then I thought, okay, like $1,000 is good. Like for me, $100, $500, $1,000, and $10,000, depending on how urgent and depending on how close I feel.
Hmm.
And I was thinking, okay, $100, for this one. And sort of like I was going a little stingy with that, right? And then
Well, I
uh,
think that's generous. That's wonderful.
And then
Yes.
big check came in like almost like a few minutes later. I made a decision.
Ah,
It's almost like a universe telling me, okay, Ken, you can be generous, $100
yes.
is not enough. Okay, I got it. And then so like, I wrote a bigger check, but that's how I live my life. So the more money I receive, more money I can give. And surprisingly, money out of nowhere shows up.
Ah,
Um, which is a very interesting life as a best-selling author. Because if you become a best-selling author, happy money comes from all over the world. Like this morning, my royalties come from Vietnam and Russia, and a few other countries that I haven't I've never visited.
mm,
So if you have more than enough, that extra happy money can be cashed out to somebody who are really in need or who just can make a good use of that. So that
Interesting.
way, you can circulate money.
So you look at it as a circulation, as something that is not that you're parting with, that
Hmm.
something that you know will eventually, and you don't give money in order for it to come back to you, by all means, but you know that there's enough that's in circulation to go around, right?
Hmm. Yeah, so I'll make sure all the money I receive will go to the right place. So, as I ask my money, I always have a chat with money, like, okay, welcome to my house. So, where did you come from? Russia, Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's exotic. I've never been. So where do you want to go? And my money would say, I want to go help orphanage in Cambodia. Or this time, my friend is doing a charity event in Fukuoka. Just a few minutes. I was on a few minutes ago before the show. I was on a clubhouse and he was talking about the charity. Okay, so I'll send you $1,000 and buying 30 tickets for young kids. So just can you do an essay contest so 30 people can win and go to a jazz concert?
Oh,
Academy
wow.
award winning Grammy winning artists. There are only three Japanese who won a Grammy. So one of them is playing. So it's a great impact for young kids, right?
Oh my goodness, of course. It could be the inspiration that leads to a lifetime of music. Yes.
Yeah. So
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 you thank
that's how I
money
do
that
it.
you say you have a conversation with money. You say, "Where did you come from?" And you are in a relationship with money right away.
Yeah, yeah, yes. And I have already enough. I have four houses and then, I have no mortgage and my daughter is already, not small. And then I don't have any expenses. I have expenses in terms of businesses, but I have no debt. So I don't need to make money personally. I need to make money to get the business going, but I can stop anytime.
Yeah.
So, in other words, all the money I receive, I can use it for other people, which is so much fun. Before, I have to make money for myself and my family, but now I'm just doing it for somebody else who need the money.
Well, tell me about that time where you needed to make money for your family and you maybe had just a small amount of money. How did you develop a relationship with money that allowed this abundant life of yours?
Yeah, it's like decades ago, so my memory is kind of vague. But when I was doing consulting, I had a hard time charging people with a higher fee. So I had a client who was very successful and generous raise my fee for me. So he was telling my clients, okay, you should give him more fee, like a higher fee. I said, thank you, sir. So I've been always protected by people who are very nice and kind to me. So I have never struggled with money that way. So I started when I was 21. And immediately, I was hired by important people who was close to, prime ministers and all those big, high rank people. So because of that reputation, I could get more clients very fast. So I haven't had any, and I have never borrowed any money because in my kind of business, I don't need to borrow money to build factories and stuff.
Mm,
So
right.
so I have been very fortunate with money, and I think it's probably like my karma, so I can be released from money related stress, so I can focus on helping other people.
Mm.
So once you're financially independent, you have this luxury of helping other people.
What if you are not, though? I mean, what if people didn't have the good fortune that you have of coming into
I
or having that type of money karma?
Yeah, so I think you have to kind of like start working on your own by finding what you love, by finding your gifts, and by doing the things that really excite you. People will start paying you.
Are
So
you
you can cultivate it.
Cultivate it. So, are you finding or have you listened to people lately that are having a struggle with this economy? Our economy is going to be different than your economy in Japan, but
Mhm.
have you been hearing this lately?
Yes.
You have.
So, it's a great opportunity because once you lost your job, once you know you cannot make both ends meet with your salary, you have to be creative. You know, once you know that you need more money. Oh, by the way, there are only two problems with money. Oh, once again,
I love this. So balloons keep coming up in Ken's
looks like
Zoom
it.
here.
Yeah. Somehow, if I do this, balloon
Oh,
keeps.
if you do that, it comes, the balloons come up.
Yeah. So
You
one
do the
one
peace sign. That's
problem is that you're making too little money. The second problem is you're spending too much.
great. Okay.
And financially challenged people, they have both problems. They get paid low, and also they spend too much. So they go on a dollar shop on weekends and they buy stuff. They just put all the stuff in a big cart. I've seen it in America. Like, what? Definitely you don't need.
What do you
If
need there?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. If I was on a TV show, I would probably ask this guy, like, "Sir, do you really need this?" And then I'll probably no, but it's cheap, so I'm buying. So wealthy people don't do shopping like that. So, uh, if you really want to be free financially, you have to learn about money. You have to learn about yourself, spending habits, and then you have to come up with a higher self-esteem to get paid more. So, you have to sort out a lot of issues inside that will manifest outside.
Hmm.
So, economy situation doesn't really matter. It's you and it's you and the money.
Yes. So let's just dive into the self-worth idea for a second, because
Mhm,
the idea of having a higher self-worth and
mhm,
being valued for what you're worth,
mhm,
does it take two to tango with that? I mean, say I have a high self-worth, but somebody doesn't want to pay me.
mhm,
Or does it work like this? I have a high self-worth. I value my time. I will attract the right person to value my time as well.
mhm. Yeah, so there are people who totally get this wrong. They
Okay.
said, I deserve more. I should get paid more. No, it's not your call. It's your clients who decide that. So, if you have not proven your self-worth, they are not happy to pay you. So, but some people say, I demand more. If you demand, nothing works. Think of relationship. If you demand more, he or she will walk away. So you have to be somebody uh, who attracts your clients and customers who are happily paying a higher amount because they really appreciate you.
Hmm.
So in other words, high self-esteem comes after serving a lot, and then as a result, you receive money. Then you feel good, and your self-esteem goes higher. So some people who think I deserve to get paid more, those people get it totally wrong. And then even if you just think I'm worth more, unfortunately, the universe doesn't work that way. You have
Hmm.
to prove yourself that you give first so you get paid enough, and then you can feel good.
And then you need to ask for it, right? So say that you're getting minimum wage and you want a raise. And
Yes. And
how
if
would you, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, and if you don't get yes, that means you're not really giving enough, or you're in the wrong place. So
Or
if
you're
you're in
in the
the wrong
wrong
place,
place.
yeah,
Yeah.
if you're in the wrong place, you should go somewhere else who appreciates you more. But oftentimes, people are not giving what they're worth. Your productivity may not be high enough. So your clients and customers or your boss will offer you a higher pay. Because if you are not making money, uh, your boss, your clients, your customers, they don't feel so good about raising the salary. So if you are complaining or if you feel like you want to get paid more, you have to give benefits. You have to be more productive. You will shower your clients with so much money and also great opportunities and great feeling. And if you do that, they'll respond to you. So if
Mm,
you're an author, you have to write an interesting book. So people will talk about it, people will read them, and then recommend to their friends.
mm,
So as a result, you get paid. And if you write a lousy book, nobody reads, or even if they read, oh, that was a waste of my time, and then they will not recommend to their friends.
mm,
So you don't get paid.
mhm,
So it's so fair. Some people think it's not fair, but I think the universe is so fair
mm.
because whatever you give, you receive. And
Because
that's
that's
it.
the way you think. Yeah, that is absolutely the
That's
way you
it.
think. So let's talk about intuition because it's a
Mhm.
big part of the book.
Yes.
And there are, you said, 3 steps to tap into your intuition when making a decision. And
Right.
that's a big piece of, say, you're in a job, they tell you it's a hiring freeze. How do you tap into that intuition to truly get an answer?
Yeah. So the very easy way is when you think about it, somebody offers you this project. Does that make your heart open up? Like, wow, that sounds great. Or, or does it like make you close up? That means that inside you don't feel great. And when you think of somebody, does your heart open up and just, wow, he's coming or she's coming. I'm so happy. That is like, good. And
Right.
if your heart is closing down, that means you're not, something is wrong. You don't really want her to be with him or with her.
Hmm.
So it's very simple. When you think of moving, if your heart is opening up, wow, I'm going to California, I'm going to Florida, or I'm going to
Yes.
Canada, wherever that is, good. And your heart is closing down, not good. So there are so many ways, and it comes through 5 senses. My mentor and friend Lynn Robinson talks about intuition comes in 5 different ways, and then it comes from visual. I see things. I can visualize. I can hear, auditory, smell, taste, and also sometimes like I got goosebumps. That's
Feel.
like I'm so
Mhm.
excited. So intuition comes in so many different ways. So if you pay more attention to what's going on, and if you think you're getting paid low, and one day you got an email from your friend like this post is opening up. Are you interested? Boom. Yes, that's it. So all those synchronistic events keep happening once you set your goal in your car navigation system in your life. Then a lot of things start happening.
Then comes the decision part of it.
Yes.
Once you hear that intuition, you've got to follow it and actually listen to the intuition and the guidance that's trying to come through. And you said something beautiful in the book. You said your future is never going to come together until you make a real decision.
Hmm.
Real decision. What does that mean?
So decision means both in English and Japanese cut off. The other something like that comes from Latin. Decide. That means like cut off. So that means you have to cut off the other option. When you're getting married with somebody, you're not getting married with the other one too. And then you have to really make this choice. I want to become a writer. That's it. So you're just almost severing the other option that you're not becoming an author, because oftentimes we feel like I want to become an author. I don't know if I can. You know, you
Right.
just decide I'll be an author no matter what. I will take the other option. I will not take other option. I'll refuse to take another option. So
Hmm.
I'll get married with this person. I'll start my business and make it successful. Once you make a decision, and then suddenly the energy just opens up a new door that will guide you to a higher level. So once you do that, everything will be automatic. It's like a domino effect. But if you don't make a decision, you kind of circle around and never go anywhere. And I've seen a lot of people do that in their life. So once you decide things, a new path will open up.
I love though what you say in the book is that once if you're ever unsure of what to do, leap confidently towards the scarier option.
Hmm.
I think that's risk taking. That's a risk taking. Leap confidently towards the most terrifying thing. What do you mean by that?
Because what you're afraid most has most energy. You
True,
know it.
true.
You know
Yes.
it. Like I'm not afraid of becoming a chef because it never it never gave me any interest. But when
Mhm.
I think of becoming a comedian, actually a friend of mine who is a stand-up comedian in New York invited me to do one gig, you know, to replace him because
Oh,
he's doing 20 shows a week, you know. So okay, so I'm gonna do it sometime next year, which
oh,
which scares me, right? But I'm just so uh excited. So I would say joke like I'm Ken Honda, but I drive Toyota, you know, stuff like that.
okay. You're working on your routine, I can see.
Right, right. So like it scares me, but it sounds so fun. I wanted to become a comedian when I was small, you know, Japanese comedian,
Mhm.
but doing this in English would be such a big stretch, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, especially understanding English humor. I mean, yes, it's a totally different language.
Yes, but that seems to open up to a next world, which is more of a not exactly a show, but to be more visible. And I'm so shy, so I don't mind just hiding in my retreat center, just keep writing, and then keep releasing a book every month, and then I'm happy. But like somebody like you know. I love you so much, so I want to be involved, but as much I hate to be pu in public. So like, you know, I love to be with my friend, but I don't. Can I wear a mask? You know, that's how I
Oh,
feel.
no, no, I mean, you look, you make decisions that are bold, that are in, a little outside your comfort zone, that are safe, that
Yes,
you're, but not too safe, so that you can stretch yourself. And that's the key that you said. And you actually say that making decisions are the key to life. Decisions.
yes,
You have to decide what you want. You have to decide. Yes, a lot of people can know what they want, but you actually have to decide to do it.
yes. Otherwise, you kind of come back so easily. Oh, I thought of becoming an author, but probably not. So
Right.
you can go back to where you were so easily. So once you make up your mind, I made up my mind, I would start teaching in English no matter what, like 6 years ago. And
Mhm.
here I am. I'm just going around the world, just sharing what I know. And I never thought this would be so exciting, to teach in Helsinki, London, Singapore, New Delhi. I'm so excited to do this in Africa and South America sometime next year too.
Are money issues really truly the same around the world?
It's very universal, but it's cultural different too. Like in North America, money is such a big taboo, whereas Japan is not. But sexual issues are so open in North America. In Japan and China, sexual issues are so taboo. So in America, if I ask you how much money did you make last year, they feel like, why do you ask such a question? But if I casually ask them about their social sexual life, without me asking, they just talk about them in such detail, which I don't even want to know.
Oh my goodness. Yes, yes.
In America, it's very casual, but when you just grab a Japanese person and then ask them about their sexual life, they feel like super offended. So, it's
Yes.
interesting. Our taboos are in a different place.
That's part of your comedy routine right there, Ken.
Right. Yeah, I already wrote down, a few jokes.
So, no, I think that's true. That is very interesting. Back to the decision making, where you say making decisions is the key to life.
Yes.
Um, I have my mom has been really having a hard time making decisions since my father passed, and
Mm.
she's been really overwhelmed with the grief, and it's been hard for her to make decisions because everything she used to do and decide was with my dad.
Hmm.
And then recently, her dog died.
Oh,
And this
I'm
has been
sorry.
the hardest part for her because
Mhm.
making decisions has been impossible at this
Mm.
point. So I had a conversation with her today, and I just started talking with her about the decision to find purpose.
Mhm.
And it's not, you can't just jump to purpose in life. You have to decide first
Mhm.
to find the purpose in life.
Mhm.
And it is the first time I think she understood the distinction between purpose and the decision to
Mhm.
live with purpose. That's a very big distinction. And I
Yes.
love that you write a lot about this. What do you see as the difference or the imperative part of making the decision to find purpose in life?
Life purpose is a funny thing. Sometimes you find it on your street corner, right? Well, wow, I never thought about this, but this is really my life purpose. But it's rare for people to find like that. So usually after searching for so many years, you find it. It's like a partner. You bump into your lifelong partner when you're in grade school. Some people find each other very fast, and other people, for some of them, takes 40 years, and then finally at the age 45, you bump into somebody that you love.
Mhm.
So life purpose is like that. And I recommend to learn about this concept, Ikigai in Japanese. That is similar to life purpose, but Ikigai is more casual. Your grandson is Ikigai. So, like taking care of your grandson could be sort of like a first step toward life purpose. And then Ikigai leads, if you just open the door of Ikigai, and then that will open up to the next Ikigai. And then after just passing 4 or 5 Ikigai doors, you'll truly find your life calling.
Mm.
But you can't really jump into life purpose in just one day.
I love that. That's a beautiful. So there's different types or different levels of purpose that,
Yes.
mm,
Yes. Like for you, probably like for somebody who has a very similar archetype, uh, they would love chatting with people, right? So like they're good listeners, so their friends would love her. So if you find that your gift is about listening, coaching, and hearing, and then uh, can you become a TV show host? No, it takes some steps to reach to where you are. So
right,
even though she shares the same gift, she has to go toward many different doors.
right, right. Yes, that makes sense. So you don't just go from where you are to this instant dream purpose. You have to take steps and realize different levels of purpose that leads to different things. And so that was my suggestion to her, is to start with just a notebook and 3 pages. The first page is what you want. The second page is what's possible.
Mhm.
And the third page is what you don't want. Because she's constantly telling me what you don't want. What I don't want is, what I don't want is, what I don't want
Mhm.
is.
Mhm.
And I said, okay, yes, I know. Get all that out, write all that out, but not until the third page. The first 2 pages have to be what you want and then what is possible. Like, I know
Yes.
she wants to live in a $1,000,000 castle, but
Mhm.
she's 82 and she's gotta move and she's gotta find something that's gonna support her physical health.
Mhm. Yeah. So small ikigai could really help her get going. Just don't push her to something that's so big because
Right.
like having a little cat or having a little fish tank could be a fun ikigai, so you can just feed it every day. That would
Exactly.
that will create a new project, and
I
so that will really help them.
I told her a cat is the way to go. It's really interesting that you say that. I mean, because it's fuzzy and it's friendly and doesn't require a lot of work, or it's just around, just to have, she's had an animal around her whole life. So
Mhm.
this is too much. So if anyone has cats that they want to have adopted, call me. All right. So I also love the fact that you say that if you're once you're able to get in touch with that decision, I mean with that intuition,
Right.
you should be able to make any decision within 10 seconds.
Hmm.
That's a great barometer. And then as a result, of being in touch with that intuition and being able to make those quick decisions, you will be more successful.
Mhm.
Explain.
Because we spend too much time and energy wondering which direction they should go, but to it- to be
Wavering. It is
yeah, to be
costly.
yes, to be honest, whichever you take, you may end up on the same street. Like many years ago, my uh, friend who wondered about which bank he should work. He just spent days and weeks wondering which company he's going to start, and then he forced me to drink with him one night and just can you help me make the biggest decision of my life? And then like 2 a.m. he was drunk and I wanted to go to sleep and he said, whichever the bank, they're the same bank, they're the good banks. So, okay, I mean, you just pick. Either one is fine. And he was so upset with me because he said, it's my life. And the funny thing is, he was either taking Mitsui Bank or Sumitomo Bank. And then a few years later, I open up a newsletter and newspaper, and the front page it says, "New bank Mitsui Sumitomo Bank." So these two banks emerged. So like, give me a break. What happened to me like 5 years ago? That was total waste
That
because
is
you know he ever whichever he took, he ended up in the same company.
fine. They merged anyway, so he made the right decision no matter what.
Right. So like,
Yes,
but our life is like that. We take the this way or that way, we may end up in the same street. So making a quick decision and jump on it and just keep pushing, you go like further ahead. But if you just wonder which one is good, this one, that one, oh, give me just another week, give me another month, and then we stall. So this person make a decision in 2 seconds, right, left, right, left. So while this person is waiting, which one is the right one, this person is like kilometers, miles away. So
hmm
usually when you make a quick decision, don't think it's right or wrong. It's just different. But
It's
if
just
you
a
just
decision.
do
Mhm.
your best after making a decision, and then you'll be guided, and you do well.
So that decision then is preceded by intuition. That
Yes.
intuition and being in touch with that intuition. And if that's cloudy, the decision's going to be cloudy and the action's going to be cloudy.
Right.
It really starts with getting in touch with what you want, your intuition,
Yes.
right? Mhm.
But unfortunately, the tragedy of humankind is we don't know what we want. So if you can be clear, if
So
you
true.
can have the clarity of what you really want in life, 99% problem is solved. So the question is, how clear do you want to get about what you want? A lot of a lot of us are so scared of clarifying what's on the plate. Because if you know that you're so crystal clear about what you want, you may need a divorce. You may need to change your job. You may need to move your house from where you are to, where you want to
Right.
go.
And this is the conversation I was having with my mom is that if you actually have a page for what you
Mhm.
don't want,
Mhm.
you're going to start to bring awareness to the fact that most of what you're listing is what you don't want. And
Mhm.
then she said, okay, well, I don't want to move into a senior home where everybody is half dead and walking around in walkers.
Uh-huh.
She's like, I don't want that.
Mhm.
I said, okay, good. I'm glad you're clear about that. But what do you want? And she said,
Mhm.
what I want doesn't exist. Still didn't give me an answer. What do you want? What does it look like? How
Mhm.
does it feel? What is the view out the window? What's the feeling of the people you speak with when you're there? What's the food you want to eat? Like, so if you go down all the senses, you can find in there slightly what you want.
Mhm.
And that then opens up the second page is the possibilities of what it is that is maybe possible. Like, call this person, check this place out. Maybe this person will lead you to this thing. And as we're trying to find a next step for her, it's about the exploration. But I do like the idea of calling out what you don't want because it puts it out there. It's like, okay, it's out there. I acknowledge it. And then you move towards what you do want. which I actually I love this conversation, Ken, because we're not even talking about money. This
Mhm,
is true wealth.
mhm.
This conversation is true wealth.
Yeah, so a lot of people think wealth is money, but there are two kinds of wealth, visible assets and invisible assets. And what we're talking about is the invisible assets, and that has a higher value. But on top of, invisible assets. Visible assets can be built like a castle. So you have to have a strong foundation of what you really want. And what we've been talking about is building our emotional invisible assets. And
Mhm.
once we know what we want, and then we're clear about what we are going to do, then you can start planning your life. But a lot
Yes.
of people just try to do the different way. That's why they the second they start walking, they fall is that their shoes are tied together.
I understand completely. I understand my mom when she went into one of the senior living communities, what she saw were zombies walking towards her filled with like covered in mummy cloth, you know.
Mhm,
It
mhm,
wasn't what I saw, but it was what she saw
mhm,
because that was what it looked like to her. And I
mm,
understand that. I mean, I get that she was a manifestation of what she didn't want.
mhm,
What I saw was people talking, having lunch together, um, having cute front yards cut with white picket fences in beautiful air quality that was kind of near the beach, but always cool. And I saw a lot of wonderful things, but
mhm,
she couldn't see them because she was in her mind looking through a different filter. And I think that going through that exercise of what, like you said, the five senses, how do you want to see, hear, feel, taste, smell, all of the things around you, that'll get you to that true wealth, actually.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, so there are so many versions of true wealth. My version could be very different from yours. And then you can define what true wealth is for you. So that's why I wanted to tell that in the book.
This
There's no right way or wrong way. It's your way.
Hmm. In the book, you talk a little bit about the difference between positive action energy and negative action energy.
Mhm.
Can you tell us a little of that difference?
So you can do something out of love, and people can understand. But there are certain things that you out of negative energies, like I don't want to do it, but I have to do it if because if I don't, I'll be stuck in this forever.
Right.
So it could be it could come out from a negative perspective, but sometimes negative energies you can use for you, not against you. So like when you're just in a bad situation, you have to get yourself out. So I hate this and then move out. So sometimes you need to use negative energy to get going.
Huh. So really look at what you don't want first, like I was talking about?
Yes, exactly. So like, I hate to be here. I got to
Right.
get out of here. But
Right.
if you're just using love and acceptance, maybe this isn't so bad. Even it's such an abusive relationship or abusive workplace, you kind of like start appreciating it. And no, that's not what I'm talking about. If you
Right.
just feel this is something is not right, you have to get out. So sometimes you
Yes.
have to be negative about the situation.
You have an upcoming class that is happening, and I just want to know if you could tell people a little bit about it. There's a website that people can go to, which
Hmm.
is kenhonda.com
Yes.
/humanity.
Mhm.
And I would love to know if you could tell some people about it.
Yeah, so a humanity team, I went there and spent a few days with a humanity team. They are so wonderful people.
That's great.
Uh, they are started by Neil Donald Walsh and Steve, who are the co-founder. They're both lovely people. I so respect what they do and how they do it. So there are so many great teachers. I feel like so honored to be one of them to share about the concept of happy money and true wealth. So figuring out what you can do, how to invite more happy money, how to transform your relationship with money, and how to find life purposes. I put all everything I teach in there in such a short format. So instead of me teaching, I asked many questions in that course. So uh, by answering to all the questions I ask, you probably figure out what you really want to do. So that's my style.
Ah, that's a great
Very
idea.
Zen style. I don't teach. I ask questions.
Mm, so that you could form your own answers.
Yes, because I don't have the answers. You do have the answers.
That's so true. That is 100% true. I love also, that you teach that money should not be your number one priority.
Hmm.
What do you consider true wealth?
It's up to an individual, but if you are free financially, um, you don't pay much attention to money because money is like air. You can sniff in as much as you want. You can just breathe out as much as you want. But to keep you alive, air is important, like money, but you don't live for air. You know,
Yeah.
you live for something else, and air is the essential part, like food. So once financial thing is being taken care of, what do you want to do? Do you want to cook? Do you want to support people with your coaching, with your listening skills, with the massage skills, or with the artistic skills? What do you want to do from early in the morning till you go to sleep?
Mhm.
Like I love teaching, I love coaching, I love reading, I love writing. So what's your favorite activities? And something bring you the money, something doesn't, but it's okay. If you are free financially as a whole, you don't worry about this brings me money, this doesn't. It's okay. You just focus on something that you truly, truly want,
Mm,
and that is true wealth for you. So I think true wealth is a freedom to do whatever you want at wherever you want, with whomever you want, and whenever you want.
mm.
So just freedom to do what matters most for you.
Yes, that makes sense. I love that, and it opens up such a it opens up the energy of money, and it takes away the scarcity of it. And even though someone might be in a difficult financial situation, it's not a terrifying situation because you know that money is going to flow. And there's one more thing I want you to share with us if you can, and this comes from the Happy Money book,
Hmm.
um, that you thank your money and
Hmm.
you have a whole arigato practice. Could you
Yes.
just share that with us real quick? Because it's a wonderful practice.
Thank you for asking. So my mentor Wahe Takeda, who used to be called Warren Buffett of Japan, he started teaching us about arigato your money technique. Once money comes in, we say thank you to money for coming, visit me. And when you just pay bills, when you spend money, you can say to money, thank you for being with me. So arigato. So arigato in, arigato out.
Mm,
So if you start doing that, you start this cycle of appreciation. So you tend to appreciate more about your life, more about what you have, and you don't complain about things that you don't have. You can
mm,
appreciate what you have.
mhm,
So I'm going to start an interesting project next year, which my mentor Wahe used to do. It's called Arigato Marathon. So
oh, great.
we share ideas daily, and then our whole community. I have one of the largest online salons in Japan. So with the thousands of people, we just practice arigato every day, and it's in Japanese. So in English, we have a arigato living community.
Mhm.
So we get together once a month, and then learn about the power of arigato and how to find gifts and how to monetize your gifts and all the fun stuff we do.
That is beautiful. It's a monthly type of connection and membership to connect in with you. That's fantastic. I'm
Hmm.
sure everyone would love to be a part of that as well. And you can go to the website, which is kenhonda.com. You can also find out more about the book, True Wealth, at kenhonda.com. Thank you so much, Ken. It's truly always an honor to sit with you and be with you and to learn from you.
Thank you so much. It's such a great honor to be on your show, and just I'm sending you lots of blessings and love, and all the I wish all the best
Ah,
for you and your family and all the viewers
ah.
across the world. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that blessing. Well received, well received. And until next time, I invite everyone to please stay aware. And you can listen to our podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts. This show you can just share with your friends under the Aware Show. Go ahead and subscribe and share it with your friends. Until next time, I'm Lisa Garr, and we will see you soon.